say for example, remain clean. So that, when you're sitting for long hours, you are not stinking around, correct? You went for your restroom in the morning. So it's all very scientific. You're not disturbed. Correct? And then you'll be able to sit in asanas for longer duration of time. And then you can control your mind with pranayama. Correct? And when your mind is not disturbed, you will be able to think clearly, see clearly. Then at that point of time, when you do pratyahar, what you are trying to do is you are removing your senses from the sense object. You're saying, okay, no, I will not eat, I will not marry. You try to remove your senses from the sense objects to control. And then you get into dharana. You will say, okay, faith, I need to do these things. These are good for me. Then you get into dhyan. And then you get samadhi. That's the linking process. So this is the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga. Okay? So sitting in an asana was so that you can stay in samadhi for longer duration of time. Not to become beautiful. Okay, getting beautiful comes when you are happy in Krishna consciousness. Your face will brighten up. You will get all those things automatically. Those are like byproducts of doing yoga. Correct? Those are not the sadhan for yoga. Fine? And then Krishna is saying that a person, he is elevated in yoga when he is renounced all material desires. He doesn't have any desires that I have to gain a good job, I have to become beautiful, I have to, do like this, I want to become big. Nothing like that. He neither acts for sense gratification nor act in fruitive activities. So he is above karma, nishkam karma yoga and sakam karma yoga. Sakam karma yoga, he was engaged in fruitive activities. Nishkam karma yoga, he went above sense gratification. Correct? So that's how the gradual Krishna is building up the ladder. Let's start with the text 5 today. Udaret atmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet atmeva he atmano bandhur atmeva ripur atmanam. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is a friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. Krishna is very... So here, if you look at Prabhupada's purport, is saying, he has used the word Atmanam, correct? So Atma is used sometimes as body, sometimes as soul, sometimes as mind also. But in this context, it is used in the context of your mind. Correct? So Krishna is saying that you should deliver yourselves with the help of your mind. Okay? With the help of your mind, you need to... And otherwise, and mind is such a thing that it can help you. If it is controlled, it's your biggest friend. And if it is not controlled, it becomes your biggest enemy. Because if it is like horse, if you are in a horse, if the horse is in your control, it will go to the direction you will like. Correct? If the moment you sit and the horse want to go to the beach, but you want to go towards the road, look what will happen, correct? You wanted to come home and the horse will run on the beach. And you will waste your 6 hours because the horse wanted to stay on the beach. Have you tried that? And if you go to Half Moon Bay, they have these horses which you can get on rent. And they're very trained horse. Even if you don't know horse riding, I've done it once actually. You sit there and they're so good that they know the way. They just take it on. And the moment they see the beach, they start running. And you have to really, there are ways by which you actually put the thing and they will run fast if you remove it and the reins you have. So, if you are a good master, controller, you will know how you want to have the horse go in the direction you want, correct? But if the horse starts going in its direction, then you will lose time, correct? So it's very important for us to make horse our good friend. Make your mind your best friend. Let not mind say, hey, coming to Bhagavad Gita, it's better to play video game. That will give me better engagement. Right? Mind will do that, by the way. Mind will do that. All of you are so lucky that your mind is so controlled to come in this class, correct? There are other few friends of us who probably could have come, but they made a choice. Correct? We miss you all. Please come. Maybe they can hear the recording and come. Correct? But see, this is where you have to start connecting with the mind. Let's read the purport little bit, starting from immaterial existence. Can you see that? It's the 6th or the 7th line. Okay? In material existence, one is subjected to the influence of mind and senses. In fact, the pure soul is entangled in the material world because the mind is involved with the false ego, which desires to lord it over material nature. Therefore, the mind should be trained so that it will not be attracted by the glitter of material nature. And in this way, the conditioned soul may be saved. See, Krishna is Prabhupada is telling the sutras. See, your mind wants to lord it. I want to get an iPhone 6. I want to get the Macintosh. I want to own a Ferrari car. I want to have a house. The mind is trying to distract all around. I want to become a big engineer. I want to have a big name and fame. And that you get implicated. And because then, rather than self-realization, your energy goes in acquiring possessions. Correct? But if you keep your mind, you will be saved. This human form has been given for us to do self-realization. Correct? And mind, if is your friend, then anytime mind says, getting a car is good, Ferrari. But as long as I have my Honda and Toyota, I am fine with that. My job is to come to the temple. I need not show it to others. Correct? Then your mind is friend. It avoided. Why do you want to spend $200,000 unnecessarily just for commuting one place to another? Correct? Look at, is it reasonable? Is it logical? Correct? One should not degrade oneself by attraction to the sense objects. The more one is attracted by sense objects, the more one's become entangled in material existence. The best way to disentangle oneself is to always engage the mind in Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada is also telling, okay, your mind will wander here and there. But if you engage your mind into Krishna consciousness, then everything is safe. Again, the example what I was saying was, you have to eat. But say that I will eat only thing which is offered to Krishna. I will sing. I love singing. I want to sing. But I will sing only for bhajans. Correct? I gave the example, Bidi Jalaile and Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Correct? So, you got so much of benefit by just singing, and you change your consciousness and you're always with Krishna. Correct? You work, you say, I'm not working for me, I will work because I want to maintain my body, which I will use in Krishna consciousness. Everything changes. The word he is used for emphasizing this point that one must do it. See, that's why in the purport we are saying must. One must deliver with the help of mind. So if you are not using your mind and controlling it, then this is something Krishna is saying we are not following the right thing. In this human form of life, we must control our mind. Let not, so think of it, if you control your mind, if you have to wake up at 4 a.m. or 6 a.m., whatever time you think, you will wake up. But if you will not control your mind, you say, "Arey, आधा घंटा और सो लेते हैं," and then you will snooze. And then 6:30 बजा, फिर again alarm came up, tanin. You might say, "Arey, आज तो Sunday है, today is Sunday. What I have to do? Let me sleep another half an hour." And again you will sleep. By the time this 2-3 sequence happened, it's already 8 o'clock. Correct? And then you missed the positive energy of the sun. The first part of the day. So think of it. You could have got all these things in your life, but your mind didn't help you. Look at it, that 2 hours, you could have done so many things. Correct? This is practical example. And what did you gain? You slept like a dog for 2 hours. What you lost, you could have done. You could have studied Bhagavad Gita. You would have studied your textbooks. Because that's the time when your mind is in mode of goodness. So whatever you do in the morning is very better. Huh? Then, because once the sun comes up, Rajogun picks up. You are doing a lot of actions. Your mind is not very peaceful at that point.
What is the time, sorry, what is the deviation that you said?
Typically, Brahma Muhurta is 90 minutes before sunrise. But if you are, so think of it, if the sun is rising 6 o'clock, it is recommended to wake up by 4:30. But do as convenient. But better is if you can wake up before sunrise. It is always good. The energies during that time are very good for your body. So our bodies are actually working on all the solar energies and all, correct? It knows when to secrete certain juices, how to rest, how to activate. So if you are not active at that point of time, you miss that boat, because the brain is not seeing those things happening, correct? So you miss that boat that time, okay? Take care of that. Rising up early is always very good. Also, in Amrita Bindu Upanishad, it says, for man, mind is the cause of bondage and mind is the cause of liberation. Mind absorbed in sense objects is the cause of bondage, and mind detached from the sense object is the cause of liberation. Very clearly, correct? If you're not absorbed in certain objects, then you are liberated. Liberated means mukti. So, sochiye, if you are looking for mukti, very simple way is, don't affect your mind into sense objects. You're already in the stage of mukti. Only when you get attached, no, this is mine. How can that guy pick my cell phone? This seat was mine, I was sitting. Didn't you saw it? Typically, half of the problems happen like this, na? Typical, the other guy will sit in the other place. I sat here, didn't you saw it? And they did it. Good person whose mind is controlled. Okay, I see Krishna in him. He wanted to sit here. Let him sit. There's another place. I'll sit there. I'll sit in the ground itself. Because I see Krishna in his super soul in his heart. Correct. Therefore, the mind which is always engaged in Krishna consciousness is a cause of supreme liberation. So, mukti ka saral upay, Krishna Bhagwan ki bhakti. There is no other way. Okay? Text 6. Now I'll go a little fast because I want to reach till 30 texts today, okay, at least. For him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. Already we talked about it, correct? So, that is where we are trying to come up with is, how do we actually control the mind? And one of the thing in the purport, let's read the purport from line number 5. The constitutional position. Are you there? The constitutional position of the living entity is to carry out the order of the superior. As long as one mind remains an unconquered enemy, one has to serve the dictation of lust, anger, avarice, illusion, etc. But when the mind is conquered, one voluntarily agrees to abide by the dictation of the personality of Godhead, who is situated within the heart of everyone as Paramatma. Very clear point here, correct? So think of it, if you will not control the mind is going to control you. And mind always needs something. We realize that Atma is always active. Correct? It wants to do certain things. Correct? And similarly, mind, you have to control it by superior power. So what we have seen is, intelligence is over mind. So using intelligence, you can control your mind. Okay? And engage in the more superior thing, which is Krishna consciousness. Correct? Rather than putting your mind onto watching a TV, control it saying that, no, if I do some bhajan kirtan, it is good for me. Correct? That way that mind can be your biggest friend. Think of it. Otherwise, if you don't control it, it will be your biggest enemy because it will waste your life. You have certain years of your life, correct? If your mind is putting into all kind of nonsense things, think of it. How much life we can waste with that. Correct? Control the mind. And while you are doing chanting also, or japa, your mind will go in all different directions. Bring it back. That is what is called meditation. Correct? You are bringing the mind back, controlling it. It will say, यार अभी ऑफिस का होमवर्क करना था, वो असाइनमेंट बचा था. Just shut it up, my dear mind. I'll beat you if you'll again talk with me right now. This hour is my chanting time. Let me do what I am doing. Correct? So this comes by two stages. One is by purifying your heart. So that's why Krishna was saying, do your action. First you have to do Sakam Karma Yoga. Slowly when you are doing Karma Yoga, then only you will be able to control your mind. And then when you cross that stage, then you can stop, you can get into a stage where, you will be automatically controlled and you will do it as a matter of duty. And then, if a yogi is supposed to go to the forest, if he has sufficiently purified his heart, then it is okay. You see my point? Let's go to the next one. Jitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahita sitokshna sukha dukkeshu tatamana apamanayo. For one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already reached. For he has attained tranquility. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same. So these are the symptoms of a yogi, correct? A yogi who has conquered the mind, correct? The super soul is already reached. These are the symptoms, correct? The Paramatma which is there in your heart, if you have conquered your mind, you are already connected with that, okay? And the symptoms will be that you become peaceful, tranquility, satisfied, fully satisfied. For such a man, happiness and distress, so he is not bewildered whether he is happy or he is in pain. Heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same. Correct? Because he got the real sense. Let's read the purport of this also. Actually, every living entity is intended to abide by the dictation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. So, har admi ke hirday mein, everybody's heart, you have Supreme Personality of Godhead in a plenary expansion as Paramatma. So that Paramatma is sitting in your heart, my heart, everyone's heart. Okay? Once you understand that, correct? When the mind is misled by external illusory energy, correct? One becomes entangled in material activities. Therefore, as soon as one's mind is controlled through one of the yoga systems, one should be considered to have already reached the destination, because that mind is already talking with the God. Think of it. Correct? One has to abide by superior dictation. So the superior dictation, instead of getting ordered from the material nature, material energy, take the instruction from your heart. Take the instruction from your super soul, Paramatma. Correct? Once one's mind is fixed on the superior nature, he has no alternative but to follow the dictation of the Supreme. The mind must admit some superior dictation and follow it. The effect of controlling the mind is that one automatically follows the dictation of Paramatma or Super Soul. Because this transcendental position is at once achieved by one who is Krishna consciousness, the devotee of the Lord is unaffected by the dualities of material existence, namely distress and happiness, heat and cold, etc. This state is practically samadhi or absorption in the Supreme. So Prabhupada is giving purport. So a yogi, he is looking into, because yoga, when you do, you are trying to control your mind, and then you will be able to observe super soul sitting in your heart as well as in others. That's the time when you start, you become a perfect yogi. But Prabhupada is saying Bhakti Yoga is the topmost ladder point, because here already, because you are doing Karma Yoga, you know that whatever actions I am doing for Krishna. Correct? There is no fruitive desires for you. Correct? And then every time you are doing every action, khana kha rahe ho to prasad kha rahe ho. Correct? So there is not a moment in your life when you are not in Krishna consciousness, when you are not listening to the Supreme, when you are not doing activities for the Supreme. See how beautifully these are all related. Correct? Text 8. And then when you will do that, what will happen is, if there's a distress coming, you will say, oh, you know, I was supposed to get a larger problems, but Krishna helped me by getting a smaller problem. Correct? And then if you get a big salary increase, you'll say, oh, Krishna is happy with my activities. Krishna, I was not deserving it, but just because of your mercy, you have given it to your devotees. If it is too much of heat, you'll say, wow, this is the energy of Krishna, you know. But Krishna wanted me to suffer a little, let me tolerate it. If it's cold, you'll say, wow, this is the energy of Krishna, you know. How can water can create an ice? You can appreciate always, and then you will not get bothered, because you say, Krishna will take care of me. You will become fearless. Correct? Every time Krishna is going, Jaake rakho, you know, Krishna is the protector. What will happen? Krishna, even if I die, Krishna has a better plan for me. Correct? Ramchandra ji, when he went to Vanavas, was he very unhappy? No, no, something, it's father's will. And those are setting by example, correct? Leaving the royal palace, going to Vanavas. Because they know that, something better will come. Because Ramchandra has to kill all the demons and all, correct? So, something good happened out of that 14 years of exile. And, they probably had the best time together, because when Ramchandra ji would have returned back, you would have been busy with so much of office work and Raj Singhasan, and then Sita Maiya have to leave the palace, correct? So if you look at Ram, Sita had the best time when they were in Vanvas. You never know what are the best, what God has in grace for you, correct? That's a side point. Text 8, a person is said to be established in self-realization is called a yogi or mystic when he is fully satisfied by virtue of acquired knowledge and realization. Such a person is situated in transcendence and is self-controlled. He sees everything, whether he is be pebbles, stones or gold, as the same. So think of it, such a beautiful point Krishna is saying here. Person is said to be self-realized and is called a yogi. You cannot say someone is yogi. You will see a lot of people say, yogi, maha-yogi, this, that and all, correct? A sign of yogi as given by Krishna is that when he is fully satisfied, he is tripta. He is fully satisfied with acquired knowledge because he has jnana. Okay, we have read already transcendental knowledge and realization. Realization means vijnana. So what is the difference between a jnana and vijnana? Jnana is you know the knowledge. Vijnana is realization. So the jnana is you are a soul. Vijnana is you realize that you are a soul. Application of jnana is vijnana. So this a yogi is who doesn't only know transcendental knowledge. So now you see you got one step up. So you were at the bottom was animal, then you went Sakam Karma Yoga, then you went Nishkam Karma Yoga, then you went to Jnana Yoga. Now you are going one level up. You are saying Ashtang Yoga. And when you are becoming a yogi, what you are doing is you not only transpass all the Karma Yoga, you understood what was the Jnana Yoga. Correct? And then you are applying that Jnana Yoga. Realization, that's the key. Knowledge and realization. See, these are the mantras. And it's very easy to miss those subtle points. Nobody will tell you. See, these are the ladders. Once you got the knowledge, you are in the transcendental knowledge. Now when you realize it, you get one more level. Thinking that, physics mein bahut pada hai, correct? But when you use that information to make an invention, is that the next step, correct? Practical hota hai, correct? So think of it, Jnana Yoga is bookish knowledge. It can tell you to the stage of, see how beautiful it is. By Jnana, you know who is Krishna. But you will realize it as at a very, okay, Krishna is like this, that, or at a very high level, correct? But by Vijnana, you start interacting with Krishna. Right. You start realizing things around you. Okay? So very important point. And that is the point when you will call someone a yogi. If he is yogi, he is not only knowing things, he is able to apply things. He has realized things. Okay? And this person is situated in transcendence and is self-control. How you will see it? This guy, even someone comes shout at that person. The person is not disturbed. Again, Shitosna Sukha Dukkheshu. We just read two stanzas back, correct? He sees everything, whether pebbles, stones or gold, same. Can you do that? If there is a stone and a piece of gold and diamond, he will pick up diamond, correct? But a yogi, he doesn't need. Look at it, the way it is they are above. Because he is not going to sell the diamond to make money, correct? Because he knows, I am not this material body. I am a spiritual soul. What will I do with if I get a diamond or a gold, correct? Or a piece. See, it's so beautifully jigsaw puzzle crosses one after the time, correct? But this is not for us to know. This is for us to apply in our life. Correct? When will our stage reach? When we'll get that. But actually again, if you're Krishna consciousness, you will realize that, अरे यार, थोड़े समय के लिए आए, चले जाएंगे. Correct? Let me do good karmas. I'll not, for getting a diamond, I'm not going to kill someone. Correct? Because you start in those practical aspects of it. Correct? Let's read some part of purport and then we'll go to the book. Knowledge without realization of supreme truth is useless. If you read this Bhagavad Gita, it is good that we are reading it, correct? It's better than not reading it.
Yes.
But if we read it and do not realize, and that is where you will realize now, remember, Manushyanam Sahasreshu, out of tens of thousands of people, only one will know me. And out of 10,000 of people who know me, one will actually try to know me. And out of those who actually try to know me, one actually knows me. Correct? This is where all these paradigms combine together. Krishna, you are no body, you are the soul. You will hear them, but how much are you applying it? The moment you get a small thing, oh my God, then, but you're telling your mind, देखो सब ठीक हो जाएगा, you're not this body, it's थोड़ा सा, it will heal, tolerate it. You've gone up in the mode of knowledge you use, correct? And then you apply the realization, then you move to yogi, correct? And then you're Krishna, maybe my fingers would have been chopped off, Krishna just gave me a small cut. Bhakti yoga, correct? You transcended within an incident all 4 levels, correct? You see? If this point is clear, my dear friends, we can close the book and go home. Correct? No, actually this is the pinnacle of yoga. So first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, so there are 18 chapters, correct? First 6 chapters are like the cover. The Amrita is from 7th chapter all the way till 12. And from 13 to 18 is another, just a covering. So the important cheez rehta hai, you put it in a nice cover and then keep it inside. So Krishna has slowly till chapter 6, correct? Taken us to Dhyana Yoga. And then the real thing will start from the next chapter. I am opening the suspense for you. Correct? So, but these are good to make yourselves ready. And this is all. Now you get more details. Kaise usko kare? How? Yoga aya. Then Krishna, even in the Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, also Krishna says, this is good. He gives a summary, like a keynote, correct? He gives the first slides, executive slide, table of content, agenda, then he gives an executive summary, then he gives the details. Same thing he is going to follow for Dhyana Yoga. He did it for Karma Yoga, he did it for Transcendental, correct? And then how he is going to talk about Dhyana Yoga, correct? Okay. No one can understand the transcendental nature of the name, form, qualities and pastimes of Sri Krishna through his materially contaminated senses. Only when he becomes spiritually saturated by transcendental service to the Lord are the transcendental name, form, quality and pastimes of the Lord revealed to him. So very important. Until unless, if, for example, bookish knowledge is not important. And what kind of services? When it says saturated by transcendental services, when you're cooking for Krishna, when you're